offered commercial vehicles.
Commercial? As in, like this commercial?
No, like buses, trucks.
Mine spec utes, 4Bs.
Great idea.
Commercial vehicles for any job. Das is good.
Good afternoon and welcome to a dreary Sydney Harbour. Bit of a contrast to what we've seen the last few weeks, but today we're racing for race 3 of the 6th Spring Championship, a 3 boys race, racing for the Mick Scully Memorial Trophy, and today's race day partner is Yandu. I'm Andrew Dolly Devola, and joining us today in commentary is our skipper James Bury, and Pat Langley returns again. Welcome, fellas.
Hey Dole, how are you? Good to have you back, mate. Got you out of the wilderness of Greece and Egypt and everywhere else that you travelled.
Just rode my camel into town, Jimmy.
Perfect.
Interesting day we've got here, Pat. Bit of a contrast to what I've been watching the last couple of weeks.
Oh, Dolly, well, great to have you back, and well done up in Greece at the Windsurfing Worlds. It looked like a great tour. But you're right. This is our 3rd weekend of 18-foot skiff racing this season, and we've got a bit of a contrast compared to the first 2 weeks. It's blown dogs off chains for the first 2 weeks, and here we are today with a forecast for they're calling it for a nor'easter or north nor'easter, up to 15 knots. Well, I think those showers that have just come through in the last few hours have probably put paid to that.
They certainly have. As the viewers can see on the screen there, it's very glassy on Sydney Harbour. We've got rain showers have been coming through for the last hour or so, and they have really killed the breeze. The breeze has swung around sort of into the northwest we've got at the moment, but it looks like we've got 2 breezes. Breeze a little bit more north as we get further up the harbour, and a little bit swing around to the western quadrant as we get down closer to the start line. But at the moment, it's certainly in stark contrast to what we've had the last few weeks. Viewers would have seen it's been blowing a gale in Sydney, and we've had a lot of damaged boats. Brett Van Munster and sailmakers and riggers have been working around the clock trying to get the fleet back on the water, and by the looks of the park, Pat, it looked like most of the boats were there ready to come out, maybe with the exception of 1 or 2.
That's correct, yeah. Look, everyone's done a good week of repairs out there, and in particular, probably the most damage last week was Balmain, who suffered a broken rig. So that was very unfortunate for those guys, but they've got, obviously that was a small rig, they've got their big rig in today. But yes, Meg had sail problems, Vicovia had sail problems, Kitchen Maker had sail damage, Rag and Famish did too. So yeah, it was really a day of attrition. But we saw a masterclass performance from the world champion team of Yandu with Tom Needham, Louis Brake and Miles Davey. They sailed a faultless race, and they claimed a strong win by a minute 41 over Lazarus Capital. So the Lazarus Capital really kept in the hunt the whole way. So they did very well, but different week this week.
Yeah, Lazarus I saw the week before too. They were about the only boat who got anywhere near surviving in the, what would it have been, do you reckon, 30, 35 knots?
Some of those buffs were
at times pretty fresh.
There, yes.
Yeah. But, those conditions, it's where those more established crews will sort of gel. They can sail in those more extreme conditions. I've noticed we've got quite a few new sailors and new sponsors on board for this season, which is great to see. I'm also seeing a great mix of younger teams, which to me is great, healthy for the class to have great young sailors moving into the class. But obviously those really windy days when they're trying to find their feet in an 18-footer, it's pretty tough going for them. But they'll find their feet as the season goes on, I'm sure. But today certainly a lot easier for them. But tactically it's going to be very, very tricky.
That's right, yeah. And look, today we've got the part of the 6th Spring Series, sponsored by Yandu. Today is the race day sponsor. It's a 3 boys race. So it's going to give these teams a lot of opportunity to get in the mix, and we'll go through some of the the teams and the handicaps. Actually, in fact, Chits is going to bring up the handicaps right now on the screen.
Get them on screen.
You can see there, I've got my eyes on a couple of boats in the middle there, like Club, Marine and Six. They'll definitely feature well, particularly in this light air today. And so, but definitely teams like Yandu are going to be punished heavily today.
Yeah, Yandu and who we got Sure and Partners aren't coming out today. Keegan still doesn't quite have the boat ready, but they were going to be going to the limit mark 3 times. Lazarus are going to it twice. But yeah, those middle boats, especially the 2 boats, as you mentioned, Club Marine going to the blue mark twice and the white mark once, along with the Kitchen Maker and Royal Oak and Fisher Paykel. They should get quite an advantage out of that. So if they can sort of hang in there, and each time we get to the top they get to cut the corner, they could come to the fore. I would expect that the girls could have a good day today too, I think. Both Emma and Beck, they do sail well in the light air.
They do. I think Emma's definitely flying high after going through the brutal race last week, where we were, if you were watching last week, she hung in there, she had a storm rig on and persevered and finished the race. So, but this week, Brando is back on board, the main sheet trimmer with them. So I think, Brandon Boyik, I can never get Brando's real name, so I just call him Brando. But he's back on board this week, and that boat was really well tricked up last JJ's for the light air, so I expect them to be going pretty well. But Dole, it's pretty light here.
It's very, very light. It's not looking... it'll be interesting to see what our starter, Hugh Lester, decides to do as far as where he's going to lay these marks today. So we'll just have to wait and see. We've still got a bit of time, but I suspect we might go under AP for a short time while they decide what they want to do. But yeah, funnily you mentioned Emma having a bit of a tough time. I tuned in last week and watched, and they held off that spinnaker towards the end and then decided to go for it, and then they nearly made it to the finish and went in the drink. And when you guys zoomed in on them on the centreboard, there was Emma with a big smile on her face. It was like, wow, if you're still smiling after, it was like they'd done 10 rounds with Mike Tyson by the end of the day, I reckon, and she still had a huge smile on her face. So that sort of shows the attitude that she's got towards the sailing, which is fantastic.
Yeah, well, I think the onboard footage, the line of the day from Emma was, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So I think that rung true for her. But yeah, look, yeah. And I think also you were talking about the influx of young crews, new crews this year. I think when you look at some of these teams like Six, like Balmain Slake, they show the footprint for how when you persevere for a couple of seasons, you do get to the top. You've just got to do your time.
Yeah, 18 footers. You've got to be an exceptional sailor to jump on an 18-footer from the outset and excel. It takes some time to learn the intricacies of the boat, and you've got to make the mistakes and have the crashes and learn your lessons. And some of those lessons can be pretty tough. And it's usually the start of the season. These days we start a little bit later in the year than what we did in my day. But I remember in my day, the start of the season, we'd just get these brutal 30-knot southerlies. And I remember a terrible one, Pat, where I'd built a new boat in the off-season and I launched it, and we went out sailing, and it was a solid 30 knots. And I discovered that the bolt heads on the rudder gudgeons hit each other and limited the amount that I could turn the rudder. So we went to bear away for the first time, and in 30 knots, if you can't jam the thing away quick, you're in a whole lot of trouble, and we're in a whole lot of trouble, I can tell you.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's all sorts of things that can trip you up this time of year. And a big hello to all the viewers from around the world where you're watching today. We love the live chat. We follow it, and we've got people from everywhere, from Auckland, Perth, and hello today to Paul McNamara. We've also got Mick Ralph up on the sunny Gold Coast. Good, it's sunny up there, not from here. We've got Sam from Connecticut, USA, and we've got a whole lot more. So keep up the live chat. And Dylan Clark, our intrepid drone flight operator, loves positive comments. So if you've got any fans of Dylan out there, send in your messages.
Yeah, send your messages.
Proper stitch up, Pat.
Yeah, we'll let him know. And yeah, we've got the team from Kermit, the yacht, are following us these days. And what's the other US yacht that follows us these days? That Shippo always says g'day to. Sailing team from somewhere. But anyway, I'm sure you're all tuned in.
Yep. I'm sure Shippers has got friends around the world.
Well, Shippers just sailed past us a couple of minutes ago in a yacht, and I don't think I can repeat what he shouted out to us, but he was doing a great job trimming the leeward runner. I
didn't even see runners on that boat.
That's how good of a job he was doing.
Sitting down the leeward, and they were literally ghosting along. So we're looking at 6 on the screen there now. Our series sponsor, Yandu, with the spinnaker on just above them, and you can see there's very little breeze. Yandu with the kite on, just managing to just ghost along, and we've got Tash Bryant. Our Aussie Ruse Sail GP tactician on the helm of the Yandu today. So I believe Tash has got a bit of a clause that she doesn't want to sail the 18 if it's over about 15 knots. But today obviously fits that bill. And as a tactician, I'd expect she should be able to pick her way around this course pretty well today.
Yeah.
We've got the ferry have just joined us out here too, and I think they might be tuned in with us today. And we've got a number of sponsors on the ferry today, including a bit of a crowd from Balmain, Smeg, the Killer Coffee Company, and my old friends and long-time sponsors, the Kitchen Maker. So I hope Darren's out there today, entertaining a few maybe clients or staff or whatever. But Balmain, Smeg, Killer Coffee Company and Kitchen Maker, welcome to the 18-footers ferry and the coverage today.
And Dole, just on Darren, I've seen him as we were departing. He was walking out with some trap jackets under his arm, and I said, "You're surely not mad enough to be going sailing in this?" He goes, No. So they, the Kitchen Maker raffled off for a charity a ride on an 18. So a couple of the people that won that prize are going for a sail after the race on the Kitchen Maker. So that's pretty cool.
Fantastic, and I'm sure Darren's chose a worthy cause,
Camp quality.
Camp quality. Great job. So yeah, probably won't be the most exciting ride for those punters today, going for a ride after the race, but I'm sure it'll be an experience they won't forget. Sailing an 18-footer, it's a fantastic opportunity that very few people get to experience. So,
and I'm sure, knowing Darren as well as you do, Dole, if they don't get the experience that they're after today, Darren will most certainly make it happen later on. That's
yeah,
for sure.
Probably ask them back again. Those who have the courage to go out in a bit more breeze, that's for sure. And I also believe out on the ferry today we've got Mr. David Witt and his lovely wife Kim, being joined by a few of the other scallywags. I think Noddy Hay and Graham Turner are out there, along with Dave Ewings and Mandy have come out to watch Ryan sailing today on the Rag and Famish. So g'day to you guys. I'm sure you're going to have a lovely afternoon, and hopefully there's going to be an Uber picking you up later.
Well, at least coming out here today as a sponsor, your boat's on the racetrack guaranteed today. You know, the last few weekends haven't been so predictable in that sense. So that's the other one. Look, the other one also I mentioned, obviously I mentioned last week, Killer Coffee Company. They didn't get on the water last week, but that's a new sponsor this year. And I looked them up Dole, you haven't heard of these guys, but there is no better way to wake up than with Australia's strongest coffee. That's what they say. Seriously strong and delicious as hell. You'll never settle for less again. So I'm signing up. I'm going to go and buy my bags of Killer Coffee tomorrow.
It's Killer right here, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And an Australian company, so
Fantastic
to support Australian business. That's one thing for sure. So, yeah, viewers, have a look online. You buy it online, is it, Pat?
Yes, I believe, and I believe they're also distributed, but don't correct me on that.
Very good, very good.
And Dole, you got a few fans on the live chat.
Ladies? Are they ladies?
Well,
Zanny Devola, is it?
Yeah.
Bella Devola there, yep.
Well, Jay Hannabus,
Yeah.
Dolly, welcome back, Dolly, and well-trimmed beard, Dolly. He's carrying a nice little haircut too, a very Greek.
I didn't get to the hair, but I did trim the beard.
Yeah. So you got a few fans there, Dolly. So that's great, and certainly, no reefs today required. Absolutely,
Definitely not.
definitely no reefs today. So so no. And jet ski rider, good afternoon from Auckland. Good afternoon to you too, across the Tasman.
We did have a question from one of our regular viewers, Pete Elite 73. G'day, Pete, if you're watching. He had a question asking about PFD life jackets, and we can answer that question. He was asking that he doesn't see the sailors wearing life jackets, and there is a reason for that. If you get trapped under an 18-footer, either under the spinnaker, under the wings, or caught in the rigging, quite often you've got to swim out. Now, if you're wearing a life jacket, you tend to get floated to the surface and a bit more likely to get trapped. Now, with 3 people on the boat, it's unlikely that all 3 of you are going to get into trouble at the one time. So there's usually someone, a crewmate, to keep an eye out for the others. And whenever there's a bad crash on an 18, the first thing you do is check for 3 heads. Whether you're on the boat or off the boat, even us on the camera cat here, if we see a nasty crash, first thing we're looking for is 3 heads. And what they do have on the 18-footers, and Chits, if you can just switch to us, here we are, 3 good-looking blokes. Pat's got what we call spare air in his hand there. Now, that's an air bottle with a mouthpiece, and every 18-footer has that on board. And in the case of an emergency, one of the crew who aren't trapped can go down and give that to the trapped crewman. And also on board it is compulsory for the crews to carry knives. So to answer your question, that's the reason they don't wear PFDs, but there is contingencies for rescue should there be. So hopefully, Pete, that answers that question for you. And if anyone ever has any other questions that they want to fire at us, always feel welcome to send them through on the chat. And if we don't answer them on the day, we'll do our best to answer them down the track when we get a chance, especially on a light day today when we've got plenty of time to talk about
We certainly
whatever
do.
and fill in some time. The start boat are on station now. So the start line is open. We'll just wait and see what Hugh intends to do, but very, very light here now, boys, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty marginal to get a race in here at the moment. That breeze has flicked round to the northwest and really died out quite a lot. So, yeah, we are most likely going to go into AP, but we're going to just see what happens here. So Killer Coffee on the screen, actually. The helm of that boat, Sam Abel, he's actually originally from Tasmania, multiple cadet world championships and national championship titles. Lives in Sydney now and races with the Celestial team. Done a lot of J70 racing as well. So good to see him on the helm of that boat this year.
Yep, he's got Max Voss and Nathan Byrne joining him on board today. I think that's the crew for the season, but they still need some signage on the mainsail, but they've got the signage on the hull. That's them you're looking at there now. And as you can see, the 3 of them are just trying to balance the boat because there is literally no wind at the moment. boats are barely moving. We've got a far 30 trying to get across our bow at the moment. They can't even get their spinnaker set. And it actually looks like the far 30 that I used to race myself. I think it's the old Optimum. I've done a few miles on that boat. But, yeah, there they are now. Really struggling just to get that lightweight spinnaker floating out. So at the moment, folks, it's not looking too exciting. And not only is the breeze very light, it's, as Pat mentioned, it's shifted a long way around in the western quadrant now. So we'll just have to wait and see. The sky is starting to clear in patches. You can see on your screen there now there is a little bit of blue starting to filter through, and it's certainly starting to get a little bit warm and muggy. So that may not be a bad sign. I can see a couple of yachts further up the harbour, and they're in very much northwest at the moment. Do you reckon that boat's got a motor on as well, Pat, or do you reckon they're sailing?
I think it looks like it's motor sailing, but but looking further up, there's a blue spinnaker off Kirribilli that's setting and coming downwind. So we might be getting a bit of flow out of the west, which could be interesting. And we've got an outgoing tide as well, Dolly. So high tide was about 11:43 this morning. So going out for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, when I was down at the marina this morning, it was quite high too. So I think we're going to. What was the top, Jimmy? Looked like 1.5, 1.6 maybe.
1.5, Dol.
Yeah, pretty good guess.
Your eyes haven't failed you yet.
I've looked at the beach down there that many times. I get a reasonable idea. So yeah, we've got a fair bit of water moving out of the harbour, which will help them get up the bay, but it's not going to help them come back. They're going to be fighting against it. So if we don't get a bit more breeze, a little bit filling in, but yeah, west at the moment. If you just pan around to your right a little bit there, Jono, you'll pick up the, who have we got there? Royal Oak with the green spinnaker. They've actually got a crew on wire, one crew on wire. Here they come, they'll be on your screen in a second. They've just picked up a little bit of a zephyr of a breeze there, enough to get them moving, which is something positive, but the AP flag has just been hoisted, folks, so stand by to stand by.
Stand by to stand by. We've had a few standbys for different reasons so far this season. We've had 40 knots. We've had decent nor'easter, but some serious conditions. And now we've got no wind. So we've got it all, but that's what sailing's about. And good to see Gotcha for Life is out here on the racetrack here today as well. So can just spot them out to the left, just moving along. So we haven't seen them out there this season
so far. Yep, they've got a fair few patches in the bottom of that mainsail. I've got to say, looks like they've had a few crashes. A few people have jumped through that mainsail at times, but I always love to give them a big shout out. The Gotcha for Life team, they're doing fantastic work, and I know you and I have chatted about it before, Pat, and Jimmy. I know you guys know Gus and the great work that they do. So well done. Great to see the boat out here at last this week for their first race of the season.
Yeah, Dolly, I think there is actually a bit of breeze just filling in. The boats, the fleet are just starting to move now as that breeze line that's come down from North Sydney has made its way down the bay. So I can see the Rag and Famish just panning to the right of the committee boat, coming down wind with a spinnaker up. So there is a bit of hope.
It will mean a full rejig of the course, though. So we've got a three-buoy challenge, so we've got 3 top marks, and I believe those 3 top marks at the moment are in the vicinity of the Beachel buoy, are they, Jimmy, or in that direction?
I think so, Dole. I thought I'd seen them up there before, but I've got the old extender eyes out, and I still can't find them, so...
Go gadget eyes.
I'll keep looking.
It's hard.
At the moment, they should probably get them moving somewhere. because they're not in the right place right at this moment. But, you know, Pat, I think if the breeze does fill in from this direction, I'm not sure that it's going to stay there. Is the issue. We might end up chasing our tail here.
That's right. Yeah, it's a very unsettled weather pattern today, isn't it? So I wouldn't want to be the PRO today.
No, but Hugh's been doing it for a long time and he's very experienced. He'll handle it all in his stride, and in my many years that I've dealt with him, he tends to make the right decisions and usually doesn't put a race away until he's confident that it's going to be a fair race. But it looks like looking at them now, they've up anchored. They haven't put a follow me flag up, but they've up anchored and they're on the move. So we'll see where we're headed shortly.
So, Dole, got a couple of good questions here. One in particular from Max Crittenden. Question about the financials of the 18-footers. Obviously, sponsorship is critical, but who owns each boat? I doubt it's the skipper in most cases. Seems like the crew is recruited by who? These are good questions.
Good question. I can probably answer that question. So the boats are owned by the 18-footers. The boats tend to get their sponsors through the clubs. Sailors can approach the club if they're interested in sailing 18-footers. So any young, aspiring or old, I won't discriminate, boys or girls who aspire to sailing 18-footers, you get in touch with the 18-footer club and have a chat to them about your interest in sailing 18s, whether it's as a skipper or as a crew, and they're always accommodating. Obviously, you do need some experience in fairly high performance classes before you can jump on an 18-footer. But yeah, to answer the question, someone can come along with the sponsor and they can negotiate with the club, go into a contract with the club, and the club will supply a boat to that sponsor and those sailors. But yeah, the boats are essentially a one design boat, so they're all identical. You can use different sail makers, but the sails fit within a box rule. Yeah, hopefully that answers that question, Pat.
Well, I think just to add to that, the club owns the boats as well, you know, as the piece, and like Dole says, you know, it's a one design fleet, so we want to try and keep the class purely identical in that sense. So I think that also if you've got a business out there and you love 18s and you want to get involved as a sponsor too, by all means shout out, because it does, as a sponsor I can say myself, it provides great value, great marketing opportunities, and it's a really wholesome sport, and the imagery that's pumped out on Sail Media each week's pretty fantastic. So good question there from Max Crittenden. But look, it's apparently blowing up at Harvey Bay and Bundaberg. Rod Daly and Ian Piper Henderson have reported in, and Norm Anderson's done some great sailing on San Francisco Bay, 141 boats racing around multiple classes of dinghies. So great to hear.
G'day Nipper up there. Nipper's always ex-skiffy and always tuning into the coverage, mate. So g'day Nipper, I hope you're travelling well, my friend. And good to hear that you've got breeze up there. Can you send some down here to us, please, mate?
Yeah, definitely in need. So the race committee just on the move at the moment with the come within hail flag flying. So the sailors are doing their best to sail down, but I think, like you mentioned, Dolly, it's going to be hard going.
Yeah, and I just think that we might set up a course and this breeze could shift around again. But we've just got to. Hugh's got to set up the course for what the breeze that we've got.
Like up near the Beachville Boy, Dolly, they're still sort of in that northeast sort of breeze up there. We got west here,
and that's never good when you've got two breezes meeting, because in the middle you'll end up with nothing. But yeah, as I mentioned, we've got to get those mark set bots to motor down from where they currently are, and I think I might be able to. Is that what I can see off Nelson Park up there? I'm not quite sure.
There was a mark set before for the TV52s that were racing out here earlier, but
yeah, it looks like they pulled the pin too. So once this breeze shut down, the TP's packed up and headed for home. It was their final day of a 2-weekend series. I'm not sure how that would have ended up in the end. I think Hooligan were leading, were they, Jimmy, going into today?
I think pretty safe to say
They were probably
out in front.
had it pretty safely in the bag going into today.
I believe that was the last regatta for the Hooligan. Amazing long period of sailing by Marcus Blackmore with the Hooligan team. So, yeah, great to see them go out with a bang.
Yeah, I'm not sure if is it just the end for that particular boat, or is Marcus sort of... He's got a number of boats, I know. So
He does. Well, at least the Hooligan TP52 program, as I understand it,
yeah,
yes.
with that new boat. But yeah, he has another one which is sort of the, what do they call it, a TP52 cruiser racer, basically.
Yes.
So a TP52 that's not a Grand Prix boat, but I think it's the end of the Grand Prix boat era.
Yeah, I think it is, Dole. I've just had a look. I've finally found where the Mark set bots are, and they are still up at the Boucher Buoy. So we will be a little delayed here, but I know, speaking to Hugh before the start, that they were looking at still running to a time schedule. So
Yep.
we may get just a shorter course in. That may be the only thing that will happen here.
Well, if you're at home, depending on what time of day it is, you can put the kettle on or get a beverage of some description and settle down, because I don't think we're going to be racing for
Get a killer coffee.
a killer coffee. That'll get you really pumped.
That'll fire you up.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But actually, while we're waiting, I did want to talk a little bit. I know you mentioned briefly about the Lazarus Capital Partners boat, and first race day they really were the only boat that got around one lap and then put in a really good performance last week. It's worth mentioning last week, Tim Westwood, the bowman, he wasn't sailing. He had Nathan Edwards replacing him, and with Tom Koenig and Mark Chapon. And I spoke to him in the car park, or the boat park rather, beforehand, and they were really pleased with their downwind performance last week. They really felt like they had some wheels in that breeze, and they were stoked that they were able to get a bit of racing in that sort of wind strength to really sort of tick through some of their job lists. But they're going to be a real team to watch this year. I know I might have mentioned that last week as well, but they're definitely one of those teams that you can see they've got their act together this year.
Yeah, they were hitting their straps last year too, Pat. They were one of the boats last year that I was keeping an eye on, and as the season progressed, they were getting better and better and better, and they were sailing very well last summer, I thought. And interesting, they're saying they're happy with their downwind, because I thought last year their upwind, I can't remember if it was with their big rig or their small rig, but with one rig in particular, they were very quick upwind last year. I think it might have been with the big rig, and they had an exceptionally big rig. That I don't know
Yes.
if it's still the same, but that mainsail that they were running on their big rig last year, you couldn't have fitted another square inch of mainsail on that rig, I don't think. We were talking about, the one design thing. We have a maximum mast height, but on that mast height, you can jam as much sail area on as you can fit. And that mainsail, you couldn't have gone much bigger. The gaff bat and the square top on that mainsail, the mainsail was virtually a rectangle. The head was nearly as long as it was as the foot.
Yes.
And yeah, with that rig, they looked really impressive last year, I thought. So, obviously the Yandu, we'll expect big things from them again this year. But I've always talking up your boys on the Vycobi, Pat. I just think their day is going to come. Those boys are very talented sailors. They've been chipping away. They have their good days, they have their bad days, and I think when they can string a regatta together, I think if they can have their act together in time for the JJs this year, I think they'll be a real contender. Young guys on the Rag and Famish, they're going to have some work to do, and same. I've known the young guys on the Balmain pretty much for all their sailing careers, and Henry can, when he's a very good starter, when he can get off the line well and it's their right conditions, they're super competitive. But, you know, a lot of these boats, just every now and then, they're almost a little bit unlucky. You know, and that luck comes from experience. So, you know, and we've got a real mix of experience this year. So I think it's going to be a very interesting year. I'm really excited about the 18s this summer.
Yeah. Well, what I say, the harder you work, the luckier you get. But there's plenty of things that can trip you up on this harbour.
There sure is. One of my favourite sayings, Pat, is failure requires no preparation. So if you put in the work, you reap the rewards.
Well, on screen there, we've got the Rag and Famish we were just talking about. And today, Ben Crawford is away at the Match Race Nationals. So Joel Beechel has stepped in to fill in on the helm. So great to see Joel continuing to do some cameos on the 18s.
There he is on screen now.
Yeah, very talented young sailor. Just doing a lot of cool stuff across a lot of different boats, racing the 16s, racing a lot of foiling boats. So, yeah, good to see him on the helm of Rag and Famish today with Ryan Ewings and Max Nern. And Max was on the bow of the Burrowang last year, so great to see Max now branching out with some guys his own age and doing some good sailing. We've got a couple more people in the chat here, Dole. Obviously, our great mate Jody Shield. G'day, legends. Zero wind up here in God's country at the moment. So good on you, Jody. Thanks for
The mayor of
the mayor of
Wangy wangy, as Tom Eamon says. So g'day, Jodes. Hope you're well, buddy.
And actually, here's a good one. Anyone notice the bomb site change this week?
Yeah, it's let's say unnavigable.
Well, isn't it interesting? You know, you're used to finding your weather and all your little cool things you like to look up the same way for so long, and you try to make it more simple. And anyway, we've got some good comment here for me and Barnard. If the bomb hadn't totally screwed up the weather radar sites, we could see what's happening up and down the coast. The bomb thing is a disaster. Well, good on you, Ian. I think you've got a lot of people out there to agree with you.
Just to clarify for the overseas viewers, it's the Bureau of Meteorology
Thank you.
website.
Yes.
It's not something else that we're
That's a good
talking
point.
about.
Thank you very much for clarifying. That's probably a big detail that we don't want to miss.
Yeah, don't mention when you're on a plane that you're searching the bomb site.
No.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to know how much the federal government has spent on upgrading that site because I was hearing reports and I thought I'd go on there and have a look for myself because obviously I've been overseas and I came back and had a look and it was pretty good before, I thought. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Well, I copped plenty of curry on all the talkback radio shows here in Sydney, definitely this week. So it was.
Do you listen to Talkback Radio, Jimmy?
A little bit of a fan sometimes of a bit of 2GB, mate. That's,
Perfect.
I reckon,
got to know what's going on in the world occasionally.
I reckn Jimmy could do a show himself, actually.
Oh, mate, I'm no Mark Levy, I can assure you of that.
And Dougie and John Starrick have chipped in. The bomb's not very user-friendly now, so if the Starrick boys think it's not very user-friendly, well then they'd be right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, no, interesting, but we're still under AP here. Dole, what do you think?
We're getting some little zephyrs sort of out of the northwest. Looking closer up towards Kirribilli, it looks like there's a little bit more breeze than what we've got here. But what we have got here is we're kind of in the middle of the two breezes. So where we are right now, we're in what we'd call the compression zone between the two breeze directions. So it kind of depends which breeze is going to win out. And at this end of the harbour, the western end of the harbour where we are right now, between Shark Island and the Harbour Bridge, the sort of westerly direction is winning right now, and whereas further up towards Manly, it looks like it's still around in the sort of northeast direction. But
That's just Craig Nichols' air conditioning pumping.
are you giving Northside Air a plug, are you, Jimmy?
No.
Yeah, for all your air conditioning needs, called Northside Air. But yeah, we're right in the middle of the two breezes, which isn't a great place to be right now. And it'll be interesting to see which breeze wins out. As mentioned, we still do need to get marks in the vicinity of the racecourse. So that'll be the next challenge. Whether they go and tow those mark set bots down, I'd imagine they will, because they only motor along at a knot or two. So they're designed more for holding their position than, although they do motor them all the way up there, but they do that in plenty of time when they know what the breeze is doing. Just looking there now, you can see one
That's the,
of the marks on screen there. That was the start mark, was it? Or is it?
yeah, that is the start mark, Dole, and it'll make its way down. But I'm also noticing a bit of movement on the start boat of them blowing up some inflatable marks, so we may end up going to them instead of the mark set bots.
Just so we can get a race away.
Yeah.
Go to manual.
The start boat still isn't on anchor right now, and they are manoeuvring once again. So stay with us, folks. Hopefully we will get something happening. Maybe as well as that beverage, make yourself a sandwich.
Absolutely. Well, actually, our intrepid drone operator, Dylan, DC, does have a fan out there. So Arthur Christopher Bolger, greetings from Newport, Rhode Island. Amazing shots this season. Give that drone operator an Oscar. It wasn't a raise, though, but it was an Oscar.
I think he'd prefer a pay rise.
Yeah, Sammy, put your phone down.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's it. That's his own. What's the name on that, mate? I reckon that's Dylan Clark's ghost.
Yeah, it says Newport DC.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Sophie Hunt's just welcomed you back. So back
Sophie.
here. And she hasn't found the maritime forecast on the bomb site either. So there you go. We'll stop beating up on the bomb, though, shall we? We'll save it for now.
Well, I think if people don't speak up, nothing's going to change, right? So surely they're going to have to review what they've done, but hopefully in fairly good time, because we're at the start of summer, and that's when us sailors want to know what's going on.
Well, I think they changed it here in Sydney the other day. We had a 39-degree day, and that was the day that they changed it. Everyone was blowing up deluxe because they couldn't see what time it was all going to end, and so it all went very swimmingly for the people there.
To be fair, the mobile app, I find it fairly functional. I like it, and that works really well. And I know a lot of people that I know just people in my office. They go, "I look at that app probably 15 times a day." So certainly, on one side, I think that's good to be really user-friendly, but I think when you're talking about a site where you've got a lot of detailed information that needs interpretation a lot of the time too, let's not make that more complicated than it needs to be.
No. Well, it shouldn't be rocket science, but it is science. Well, your staff just look at the weather all day, so they know if they can go paddling, surfing, or winging.
Yeah, they're trying to tee up like a photo shoot. I think Dan's like, in fact, I know Dan's our sales guy, and basically I know when it's going to be windy because he's in at 7:30 a.m.
Yeah. so he can leave at what time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I didn't need to look at the forecast. I just knew.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah.
So just having a look, Dole, on the ripples side, they're putting a 6/2, so a 2-lapper windward leeward is what we're going to be in for.
And the handicaps will not count, I suppose. We'll just run a race and maybe work out the handicap on time later.
Hugh's working pretty hard there. Like he's just talking to one of the mark boats at the moment, just trying to, Hugh's very conscious of the time, critical for everyone. So he'll do his best to get us underway. He's definitely one of the best in the business, that's for sure. So
if we've got a short course, 3-buoy race like we're talking about, it'd be interesting, Chits, to have a look at the screen again with all the different handicaps, because I tell you what, some of those boats that have here we go, it's just coming up right now, some of those boats that are all going to the blue mark twice will get quite an advantage in a shorter course. So boats like Club Marine obviously doing 2 blue and 1 white, but
I'm just not sure that we're going to have 3 marks in the water though. Pat will be be the issue. If they're blowing up some marks, we might just be dropping in one mark for the top mark, and we might calculate the time handicaps afterwards maybe. But anyway, we'll wait till they've got that course in place and the AP comes down so that we know exactly what is going on. A few spectator boats out here today, which is great to see. We've got a few punters just meandering around the start area and come out to have a look. Jimmy's just having a look to see if we can see if there is any marks coming down the harbour. But the ferry's on station not far from us on the start here as well.
I think the marks might be under tow on the way down, Dol, from what I can sort of half see.
That looks like Darren on the boat next to us there, is it, Jimmy?
Yeah, that is
Better
Darren
right
McCavanagh.
Yep, from the Kitchen Maker. So he's actually not on the ferry, he's on a very nice looking catamaran. There he is, orange writing on the back. Darren, one of the, I think he's the second longest 18-footer, third longest, thanks Jimmy for correcting me, I knew I was close, 18-footer sponsor that we have at the 18-footers, so a great supporter, not just of the 18-footers, but of sailing in general. He sponsors a number of different classes, and he's a very, very generous man that runs a very good business as well. So thanks for your support, Darren. Good to see you out here.
Sponsors 2 13-foot skiffs at Manly, so which is good.
Sponsored my son for a period of time, which was very generous of him. But yeah, great guy. Always looking after people.
Well, we've got a weather update from one of our viewers from west of the bridge, over near the Palace. Andrew Glassick's reported in. Glass out west of the bridge, all racing from the Palace has been abandoned. So bar sales will be strong at the Palace at Drummoyne Sailing Club.
Might be boat races in the bar. Bushy Andrew Glassick has recently been appointed as the new sailing manager at the Palace, Drummoyne Sailing Club, Skiff Club. So well done on that appointment, Bushy. I'm sure you're going to do a wonderful job and send us a few more sailors like the Vycobi boys from the Palace.
Yes. Yeah, we love the Vycobi boys, obviously. Now we've also got, actually, it's a good reminder, this weekend's Labour weekend in New Zealand. So Choice, yeah. We've got Brian from Auckland's just messaged in saying Labour Day in New Zealand. Actually, Brian may be not from Auckland, so apologies if you are not. And as Pete Gomery used to say, it's hurry up and wait. But yeah, they've got the long weekend. They always have the Coastal Classic, the iconic race that runs from Auckland up to the Bay of Islands. So that was held on, I think they started on Friday, and won by Rambler. Rambler 88,
which did the Sydney to Auckland race.
Correct.
Yeah.
The Lucky, thank you.
Yes.
It's actually Lucky, the ex-Rambler. Excuse me. So
won the Sydney to Auckland race run by Royal Prince Alfred, and then did the Coastal Classic and won that as well.
Yep, and then come back in time for the Sydney to Hobart.
Yeah.
So not a bad schedule.
A little bit of a warm-up. Yep.
Just intercepted some chatter on the radio, Dole, and might be on the move again, unfortunately. Huey's trying desperately to get this race in, but he just said the breeze is swinging around a little bit too much for his liking to get it away at the moment.
Yeah, I did mention that before. I think it's going to be difficult for it to settle in. There is a little bit of breeze coming in out of the west here at the moment, but whether that breeze is going to stick is the big issue right now. Looking further down to the north of the harbour, it's looking very, very light down there as well now. So, but stick with us. Unlike some other sailing programs that we like to watch, who have a fixed time frame and they'll cut the coverage in the middle of a race. We saw recently. I nearly threw a brick through my TV that night. But stay with us because we'll stay with you. And if there's a race on, we will be bringing it to you. So you're just going to have to listen to us talk dribble for a little bit longer.
We do it well. We do it well.
Good to have you here with me today, Pat, because, the two of us can talk with a mouthful of marbles, I think.
The poor listeners. The poor listeners. But anyway, no, look, but it's not bad. Like, where else would you want to be on a Sunday afternoon? A bit more breeze would be nice, but life's not too bad. We're all out here. We've got some great boats, some good programs all on the water, and look, it's a long season, isn't it? You know, this season starts obviously here in the spring series that we run, the 6th spring series, and keeps rolling through just saw the race committee almost run into
dear.
Royal Oak while we're just talking there. No, disaster averted.
Only just.
I think they're just giving him a little push along, maybe.
Yeah. Definitely follow. Don't follow me. We'll push you.
That's right. But so look, it's a long season, and obviously, we start the spring series. We move into New South Wales Championships, Australian Championships, and then we work all the way up to the JJs and the World Championships. So, and that's obviously where everyone's really playing for keeps, and we get an international fleet of boats that come and race against Australia's best 18-foot skiff teams. So, it's just part of the journey of a season with 18-foot skiffs, putting up with a bit of AP and hurry up and wait.
Yeah, the old, don't know if you remember, Pat, there was a bumper sticker back in the day that said, "I'd rather be sailing." Do you remember those?
I do remember those, yes.
Yeah, this is one of those days I think I'd rather not be.
Well, the viewers at home, they're probably up to their 3rd beer by now on this coverage, or beverage, or whatever else drinks. In fact,
Killer coffee.
Killer coffee, yeah.
Yep.
Beer sales, I noticed, the non-alcoholic beer sales is really trumping the full-strength alcohol sales I read recently. So maybe you're having yourself a Guinness 0.0 or a Cooper's Light.
Whatever takes your liking.
Exactly.
You'd maybe go to the Rag and Famish and have one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rag and Famish or the Royal Oak, take your pick.
And the Mick Scully Memorial Trophy, that's an 18-footer trophy that I won in the past, back in, I think it was 1932, mate.
Come on, Dolly, you're not that old.
Mick Scully. It's great hearing these old trophy names as the season goes on, because a lot of these trophies have fantastic history. They go back a long time. I can't tell you the Mick Scully story, but got a few boats just rafting up here. Don't know whether they're grabbing some water or getting a tow. But Ripple side, it moved maybe, I don't know, 50, 100 metres, and they've dropped anchor again. I'm not sure what Tash Bryant is doing. She's a very long way up the course.
She sure is.
If we do get underway, they...
Tash, no, it's the
Is that
Rag and Famish.
that's the Rag
Rag
and
and
Famish,
right beside
sorry.
you out here.
Yeah,
Right.
Tash is on the Yandu, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
Rag and Famish are about halfway between us and the Harbour Bridge at the moment. And if we did get a race underway, they'd be struggling to make their way back here. But it looks like they've got a little bit of breeze up there, Pat. And the flags on the bridge are flying pretty solidly at the moment.
Northwest, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think Joel Beechel must have heard you. As soon as you said it, he bore
set the
away and
kite.
set the kite.
Yeah.
And so he's got the comms on board. But yes, you're right. The flags are flying at the top of the bridge.
Yep.
And so there is a bit of hope. Look, I know we can't keep talking about the Bureau of Meteorology again, but, 2 weeks ago there wasn't a forecast for 40 knots like came in. So who knows? But that was a distinct cloud band that day. Today we're not seeing anything like that. But,
That was pretty predictable.
Yeah, exactly. But it is a little bit dark. It's not exactly light in terms. I can see the leading light at the bottom of the Harbour Bridge pretty bright at the moment. So
Sure is. Yeah.
yeah. The other thing that's worth noting this year, Dolly, obviously a lot of new teams like we spoke about. The club really works on developing them and has a club coach. So Ewan McNichol, previous JJ winner, very, very accomplished sailor. He's come on and he's come on as the coach. So he's going around and supporting all these new teams, helping them, with the shortcuts to get going with the 18s. And I also believe, maybe James might have mentioned it before, that you also get some help from guys like Sevy Jarvin occasionally as well.
And John O'Witty.
And John O'Witty as well. John O'Witty, who's on board with us today, doing the production and editing. Supercoach. So good to have these experienced guys, impart their knowledge on to the new generation of 18-foot skiff sailors. So great initiative.
Yeah, hopefully it just makes their easing in a little easier. Maybe make a few less mistakes to learn. But what do you tell them when it's blowing 40 knots, Jono? Just hang on, and get on the righting lever early.
Yeah, throw on the wires, big help.
Yeah.
And get back for the bear away. So I think it was
ease the vang. Yeah, it's always a good one.
Absolutely.
Ease the vang and get down to the back of the bus. We're just trying to listen in on some comms just to see if we can get at some intel on what's going on. You can see the boats there. They are moving, but yeah, whether it's good enough to get a race in, we'll see. But nice little zephyr of breeze, probably 4 to 5 knots, is just starting to fill in from the northwest to the starting area now. So a little more promising, but we need it to stick. We need that breeze to stay in, but there is a little bit of breeze just starting to fill in, so promising signs. So there's Dylan's got us a nice drone shot of the ferry there for us. So that's our new spectator ferry for this summer, the Lady Northcott. So a bit bigger than the ferries that we've had in the past. So you can fit more people on. A couple of levels there. Has a fully set up for to cater for all your needs, to get a drink and refreshments, anything you want. So come down to the 18-footers. I think it leaves the dock, Jimmy, is it 2 o'clock?
Well, be there for 2. Get there at 1 o'clock. Go into the club and enjoy the club, and then you won't miss the ferry.
Yeah, that's right.
I think have a wander through the park as well.
It's about 2:15 it departs the ferry.
Departs the wharf. Okay, so but come down early. Have either go into the club and have some lunch or some refreshments in the club, but also you can go wander through the park. The sailors are a pretty friendly bunch. You can have a quick chat. As long as they're not flat out trying to get themselves ready to get on the water, they're usually pretty willing to have a chat. But yeah,
and if not, Dolly will be there to have a chat.
I'll have a chat, yeah. I might even buy you a beer if you're nice to me.
And I tell you what I can guarantee is when you get on the ferry, there you will find lots of people who love a chat.
Yes,
everyone loves a chat on the ferry, and everyone's just it's a great vibe. Everyone's there to have a great time, and so you could come from any part of the world and turn up at Sydney Airport on a Sunday morning, and you'll make some friends on the ferry, guaranteed.
And obviously, if you're watching this live stream, you're probably an 18-footers fan. But it's a great cheap way to get out on the harbour and just have a great day on the harbour with some friends or your husband or wife. Just a good couple of hours out on Sydney Harbour, and probably for a fraction of the cost of what you'd pay to go out on some of the other cruise boats that take you out on a tour of Sydney Harbour. It's actually really excellent value.
Funny you say that, Dol. I ran into someone during the week who said exactly that. It's the best value cruise on Sydney Harbour, so there you go.
Do we know how much it is, Jimmy?
That I don't know, Dol, sorry.
I think it's about $20, which... Something like that anyway, which, compared to going to Circular Quay and jumping on one of the tourist boats to have an hour or two around Sydney Harbour, I think it's very, very good value. So just a good day out
And you can have a
down.
flutter as well, where there is an onboard bookie.
There may or may not be.
May or may not
yeah,
be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't deny or
Can't confirm or deny.
Yeah, yeah.
Just on the chat too, while we're waiting, it's actually worth pointing out. Obviously, we've got no wind here today, but the South Island, New Zealand. Did anyone see the weather that went down there this week? They had a massive low rip through there. Like wind. I think I saw footage of someone in Wellington, a poor lady being blown across the road.
Oh, in front of the traffic. I did see that.
Yeah,
I didn't know where it was, so
But-
now I do.
But yeah, so we've got a bit of chat from Alistair Gibb, not ideal, but beats our weather this week in the lower South Island, New Zealand. Yeah, they had some really, really serious weather down there. So
It's always windy in Wellington, mate.
it sure is.
I did some coaching over there for the Russell Cootes Foundation a couple of years ago, and they are the most resilient kids I've ever seen on sailboats. I was on the coach, on the rib, freezing, and these kids, we did a morning session and came in for lunch, and I said to the guy that was running the show, "We're going to take them out again this afternoon?" And the kids were like, "Hell yeah!" and it was blowing a gale and absolutely freezing. So the other place it was very windy the last couple of days was over in Europe. Really 160 kilometre an hour winds went through France and Spain. That's pretty fresh.
That is fresh indeed.
There's the Yandu with the Balmain in the background. Tash, as we mentioned on the Yandu today. Interesting. We've got Tash sailing the 18 footers, and the last 2 weeks we've had Tom Slingsby sailing the 16s. He was back on the 16s again yesterday, so a little bit of a break for the Sail GP team right now. And where do the best sailors in the world go to keep their skills sharp? They come to Sydney and sail SKIFFS. So that's a pretty interesting thing for those guys who sail the fastest boats in the world. When they want to get some extra sailing time, they come and sail SKIFFS in Sydney, and so sort of shows the level of these boats and the sailors involved. Yeah, Tom did win a race at Manly yesterday, and he steered yesterday and won one race, and the week before he crewed for the Port Jackson Championship and sailed on the sheet on the Red Pumps Red and won the Port Jackson Championship. So I reckon that Tom Slingsby guy might go all right.
Yeah, that Tom Slingsby guy goes okay, doesn't he? Well, they've got to get their wheels going for this last part of the season now. It's getting, I think the next one's the grand final.
It is the big final coming up.
Yeah, so they've got to be firing, and what a great way to hone your instincts and your fine tuning your skills on a skiff.
Practicing your starts, that's what I'd say. Practicing your starts on the skiff.
Gee, I tell you what.
Time on distance.
Oh, they've got to be good, don't they?
Hard work.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
There we go. Actually, Marilyn Morgan has corrected us, $35. She's booked for a couple of weeks' time, so good on you, Marilyn. We look forward to seeing you then. But
thank you, Marilyn.
I think that's still pretty good.
I might have been quoting the 1992 price.
That's right.
Still great value though, right? I think if you go to Circular Quay and jump on the Captain Cook or one of those boats, you're getting up around $100 to go out. So
you are. And Rob Aldermore makes a good point that the 18s are the second fastest boats in the world behind the AC 75s. Well, I'll tell you what, they go pretty quick. They're definitely up there as far as non-foiler boats, the low riders. The king of the low riders, for sure.
Yeah, not the second fastest boats, but as far as non-foiling boats, they're definitely one of the fastest boats around.
And Dord at Sunshine's got a good question. The rumour has it there'll be some new merchandise this year. Any idea of the season's colours and items? Well, I might have a bit of an insight
I
into
was going to
that.
say, you might have inside running here, won't you, Pat?
I hear it's going to be very high-quality stuff.
Well, absolutely. Well, that's a given. But yes, actually, we decided to get it cranked up a little bit this year. We've got some new T-shirt designs with some cool prints of it. Some of it's a bit retro, some of it's more contemporary. We've got some hoodies. We've got some tech hoodies. We've got some cool hats we're making, actually. Some bit of that, I guess, that dad hat style, where it's all in vogue at the moment. We've got those coming. And then we've got your polos and your jackets and things like that we've had before. But yeah, we're certainly upping the ante. So stay tuned. We'll definitely be able to announce that in the next few weeks.
Will they be available at the club and 18footers.com?
Correct. At the club and also Vycobia.com we'll have a link, which will also have a link off the 18-foot skiff website as well.
So Jimmy and I, our phones have been on, mate. Have you taken the photos for the catalogue yet, or?
For you guys, absolutely. Yes.
We haven't had the call up for us to do a bit of modelling.
I did offer during the week to Pat.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys get that email?
I'll check the junk mail when I get home.
Check your spam, would you? It's there. It's there for sure.
I've trimmed my beard, so I'm ready. Jimmy's is looking a little bit Farmer Joe.
Well, I didn't know which way you wanted to go with the retro look, so I'm growing the beard for the retro look one.
But yeah, call us, Pat. Call us, mate.
Well, actually, no, I do have something for you guys. We're actually going to launch this new Wild West sort of horse riding farming range soon, and I reckon you blokes have got the job for that.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Anything we can do to help you out, Pat?
Now, we've got Dan Turner.
The homeless collection.
The homeless collection. The St Vincent Supporter collection.
Daniel Turner.
Yeah,
What's he want?
He's come in.
What's he want?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Question for Dolly. What's your top 3 wildest rides on a skiff? Any skiff?
Jeepers. Thanks, Daniel. Ruffy. Well, the probably the wildest one, and it's a very well documented one, but I only featured in the I think the video has had like 3 million streams on YouTube, and Mr. David Witt acclaimed much fame from that video. He was sailing the Nokia. I wasn't on the Nokia that day. So viewers might have seen a video, if not, go on YouTube and probably just Google 18-footers Auckland, New Zealand Grand Prix, and you'll probably find it. That day, definitely the wildest day on an 18-footer. So that was Grand Prix sailing days. Big waves, super, super windy, just getting around the bearing away at the top mark. That's probably the wildest day that I've had. If I had to list the next 2, we had a regatta in St Kilda, which was pretty damn wild as well, and I came out of that day less 2 front teeth, courtesy of the mast in a spinnaker drop. And number 3, probably a day on Sydney Harbour. And I was sailing, I think, on the Ericsson with my old mate Jam, and I think maybe Tony Hannon, I can't remember. And it came in, a westerly kicked in, one of those westerlies I was talking about, like well north of 30 knots. And we were coming down past what was known as the Kentucky Fried Chicken mark off Bradley's Head with the spinnaker up. And we were going faster and faster and faster. No one could go in the boat to drop the spinnaker. But fortunately, the centreboard snapped off, so that put an end to that pretty wild run. But yeah, thanks, Dan. They were probably the 3 wildest. But yeah, if anyone ever watches that race with it, Whitty, Charlie, and Cameron won in New Zealand, that's probably one of the greatest 18-footer races that's ever been filmed.
Wind against tide.
Yeah, it was windy and the waves were big, and it was very tough day to sail. And Whitty, I don't want to talk him up too much because he's on the ferry today, but that was a magnificent display of sailing from those 3 guys that day. And yeah, that video has had millions of streams. So for a sailing video to get that sort of traction is pretty impressive.
What do you reckon here, Dole? Looks like we've got a bit of breeze and we've got a bit of action.
Bit of action maybe. So we've got the start mark in place. We're still AP up. And it looks like we might be getting something underway.
I'm seeing some pressure looking like puffing a bit over 5 maybe.
Yeah, we need it to stick.
Yeah.
But hey, I think if we get a race away, if everything goes to poo, we can always abandon it, right? But if we're out here and everyone's keen to go, we might as well get going. They're just passing another mark off the start boat that they've inflated onto the course laying rib.
That'll be for the bottom turn mark, Stoll. I have a gate at the
So
bottom.
we're putting a gate in. So we've got one gate mark in place. They're going to drop another one in. Can you see a top mark anywhere, Jimmy?
Yeah, I can. Right off Cremorne Point there, where the lighthouse is. You can see all three marks. All the marks, that bots are there.
Well, if you're at home, stand by. You might have some action shortly.
And full credit to the start team and the support boats for getting this course set up in place. It's this has not been an easy task today. So great work from Hugh and the team.
Absolutely. I got a question from Scott Watson. When's any Team Vic merch available? Well, I haven't seen that one come through, so not anytime soon, but I'm sure we can do something for you, for the Team Victoria guys.
Yeah, g'day Scott. Scott doing great things for getting young people into sailing and windsurfing down in Victoria. So encouraging the next generation of hopefully some skiff sailors from Victoria.
Mate, Paul McNamara thinks that we're doing a good job, and he reckons that Mr. Shipway might be getting a bit nervous once the ratings come out.
Keep the messages coming, folks.
Don't worry, no one can replace Shippers. He's the GOAT. So
Mr. Sydney Harbour.
he is absolutely.
The voice of 18-footers.
The voice of 18-footers, he sure does have the voice.
Yeah, Pat's just got the black microphone on today. We didn't let him have the golden mic.
Well, no, I think you're in the golden mic position. You're in the host position, Dol.
In the hot seat. And we're in sequence, folks. So there we are looking at the start boat. You can see the 5 red flags being displayed on the back of the start boat. So we're counting down and we're going to get a race underway. So everyone seems to be pretty much in the vicinity. The Rag and Famish has got a little way to come down, but they'll be back here in plenty of time. Not a huge start line, I've noticed, so they're going to have to fight for there'll be a bit of fight on for this, but it's looking at the moment, I think, quite a bit of boat favour in this start line, so we might see a bit of a...
They've been doing that, Dole, and they're basically sharpening up all the teams because only the top 14 from Australia will qualify for the JJs this year, and the other boats all go to...
a charter boat?
Yeah, charter boats.
Visiting teams?
Yeah, so it makes it exciting.
They're going to have to work for their spot.
It's going to be interesting because there's definitely some distinct puffs out there, and if you do not connect the dots, you're going to be out the back door pretty quick today. I also note coming through the course very slowly that island boat, which will...
Sea deck.
The sea deck, whatever it's called. That'll no doubt park itself somewhere in the middle of the course.
Actually, this is almost this is very close to what we had. Was it the last race of the JJs?
Yes.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
So,
that's right.
Same start area, although we did sail a full course, not a Windward Leeward 3-buoy that day, but conditions really similar to that fateful race, which it was the decider for the JJ Giltner.
Absolutely. So we're just under 3 minutes to go, and I was just going to do a boat count to see how many boats we've actually got on the racetrack today. Dolly, I'll do a quick count while you keep entertaining our viewers.
And just for the viewers at home, Dole, they've updated the course to course 6 over 3, so that means 3 laps. So
3 times to the top.
Yes, mate. Yep.
Well, that's still going to be a pretty decent race because those 3 boys are still a fair way up there. So we're coming down to the 2-minute mark. How many have we got there, Pat?
We've got 14. 14 today. 14. Yeah. So 14 starters on this light west-northwest.
Yeah, so top marks are in line with the lighthouse off Cremorne Point. What would that distance be, Jimmy? Maybe a mile and a half? Maybe
Just a bit over a mile,
bit
I think,
over a
Dom.
mile? Yeah, yeah.
Probably 1.2 thereabouts.
But yeah, as Pat said, very patchy. It looks like the right hand side's looking very light. The tricky bit, I think, for those playing at home, I think the tricky bit will be transitioning across the middle. So to me, it looks like we've got pretty good breeze up the southern side, the left hand side of the racetrack. The tricky part will be finding some pressure to transition across the middle.
Yes.
At which side you'll have max current against the side of your foils as well. So you want to make that crossing across the harbour as painless as you possibly can. So there we go, 1 minute, folks. Most of the fleet are well lined up now on starboard tack. We've got Balmain and Sotheby's coming in from the pin end, as well as, who's that down the bottom there? Is that Fisher Paykel?
Yes, it is,
Yeah,
Dol.
yeah, so Brett Van Munster. They're just coming in from the pin end on port tack. It'll be interesting. Brett could almost port tack. He was looking like he might try and port tack the fleet there, but I think
Still might. I think he's putting his bow up.
Yeah, he's going to have a crack, but I don't think he's going to get. If he can get across the bow 6, he might be all right. But no, he's going to. Yeah, he's coming up. He's coming up. He's going to tack. Well worth a crack that was, I've got to say. What he's done now, though, is he's tacked and parked, and he's in danger of him rolling, and we're away, folks.
He did well. He wanted to win the pin there. Was he going to lay? I guess that's the question.
Can he get across the pin? Yeah. Yandu have flopped onto port, and they're going to... Yeah, they might just
Fisher
punch
Paykel
out.
up
Yeah, trouble there.
So, to me, Yandu got the best of that. They managed to flop onto port and find a lane through, and they will end up with the cleanest air. 6 tried to tack one out, but had to go back. So a couple of boats have done at least 2 tacks already, and you want to be keeping your tacks to a minimum in this sort of breeze.
Yeah, Yandu did a really nice job there with Tash Bryan on the helm. They managed to bail out under port tack pretty well. And now they've, like you say before, they've now got to just connect the dots to get themselves back into that next breeze line.
Yeah, the other 2 boats that are punching out behind a Sotheby's Ballard property with Balmain, but both of those boats were a bit more down pressure. The leading the pack out to the left-hand side, we've got Lazarus in good pressure. So they'll be looking to just try and work their way up, and then they'll be looking for some breeze to get onto port to, as I say, get across.
I just saw Yandu tack back onto starboard.
There they are on screen now.
Trying to reconnect with the fleet. It does look like a little bit of breeze bending around Clark Island, so where Lazarus is heading.
Yeah, they're starting to head now too, Pat, so I reckon they'll probably be looking at tacking soon. They're starting to head. Lazarus have now tacked, and yeah, we're looking at Yandu who tacked back from that right-hand side, and they look like they're on reasonable lifting pressure. But at some point, someone's going to, at the moment, left-hand side's lifting on port, right-hand side's lifting on starboard, and that can't last forever for someone.
Yeah, I don't think Yandu's going to be able to cross, or be very close, bow to bow almost.
Joel Beechel looking good on the Rag and Famish, and also Brett Van Munster now has tacked off Clark Island looking good. So see Joel there now. Is he going to cross? It's going to be a tight cross with Yandu coming right up. It looks like Yandu have just gone bow up with a little bit of pressure. You see the 2 boats converging. What are we going to do here, folks? And Joel has to concede and take the dip. So he wasn't going to get across. I think Yandu probably put their bow down them on a little bit there. Tash Bryant, the tactician, having some good tactics. Our next intersection, you'll see now there's
capsize in the back of the shot there.
Brett Van Munster will get across Yandu.
I think that was the Killer Coffee Company capsized.
Right, yes. See the wild hole. So, yeah, Fisher and Paykel, after that starting incident, managed to still push out to the left and has now crossed the fleet. So, Brett Van Munster.
Nice work. Wily old fox he is.
6 taking the stern of Yandu as well. So, I like where Yandu's heading here, though.
Good pressure, isn't there, on this side?
Definitely up pressure on the left-hand side for sure.
Yeah.
I guess the other trick they've got to watch too when they get into this pressure is then not overlaying, because you can get a big bend in the left here. You can overlay. Having said that, the top marks are still a fair way up the beat, so they've got a little way to go.
Yeah, Tash also, obviously, with Tom Needham and Louis Brake on board, two pretty handy guys to have with you. So I'm sure Tom Needham on the sheet, he'll have his eyes out of the boat, picking the breeze and the shifts and feeding that information back to Tash. I'm liking how they're looking today. There they are now. They've just tacked back onto port. So they were on a little bit of a head of it. When they've tacked, they don't look like they're on a great lift there just yet. Oh, they're starting to go bow up a bit more now. So it'll be interesting. You can see 6 in the background of your shot there, along with Fisher Paykel. Bit to leeward of them, we've got Smeg and Vykobi.
Yeah, Vykobi was the maximum right-hand boat in that top fleet, just down on Bradley's head at the moment. But I think, like what you mentioned before, Yandu looking pretty nice. This breeze out of the left, where Yandu's sailing, is looking pretty consistent.
Got to say though, Pat, the Vykobi's coming out of Bradley's head there with lifting pressure. They're actually looking pretty good, but we won't talk about them.
No, I'm not mentioning Vykobi.
We don't want to put the hex on the boys. The curse of Pat.
The boys have said no more. No more.
Did you talk to them in the park today, Pat?
I just dropped their boots off and walked away.
Perfect.
Yep. So, no, they're good boys.
They've just got a bit of a knock. You can see the 3 boats on screen there. 6 just had a fairly ordinary tack and sort of parked it a bit. Joel Beechel in rag, you can see there, he's a little bit more right, has just picked up a little bit of a lift as well. But Brett in the Fisher Paykel still pushing out to the right-hand side. He'll be looking for a nice little gust that he can tack onto, because as I say, if you're going to take one back, you've got to do it in pressure. But as you can see there, top of screen, Tash Bryant in the Yandu looking pretty comfortable.
Today's race day sponsor as well, Yandu. So good to see them out in the lead here. So we're going up to the top mark, and just to remind the viewers that the red mark is the furthest mark away. So for the scratch boats, we've got the white mark in the middle, and we've got the blue mark, which is the shortest course. And just on screen right now, we've got there you go, who's rounding what. So Yandu's going for the red, Lazarus is going for the white, Balmain going for the white, and then everyone else is going for the blue.
And it is quite an advantage too. There's a good, what would you say, Pat, 100 metres between each boat?
I'd agree with that, yep. Maybe 150 if Usain Bolt was running. I just got to visualise that distance. But yeah.
Gout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our new hope. Absolutely.
But a bit more, so the distance between the top two, the red and the white, looks like about 100 metres, and the distance between the white and the blue is a bit more by the looks. But,
yeah, I did hear Hugh chatting about it. So it's 50 metres between the red and the white, and 80 metres between the white and the blue.
Okay. Looks like more than that to me, but
Yeah.
there is a differential between the two. You're right, Jimmy.
So it's worth observing here that Fisher and Peichel is actually coming to the blue mark. So they're actually on lay because they're going to go to the blue mark for the
They
first
will
time.
lead.
So they're going to have a very handy lead when they turn around here.
Oh, and he looked like he was going to lay it easily, which he still would, but he just got a massive header on approach there. Once again,
Just quickly, Dole, this cloud that's just emerging out the west here looks a bit dark, doesn't
bit
it?
stormy.
Hold on.
Could be 30 knots in 10 minutes, mate.
Here we go. Fisher and Peichel.
Oh, body slammed. There, that's not the way to do it.
There we go. They've still got a pretty handy lead, so they're rounding the blue mark. Getting for the hoist right now. But yeah, if you're at home, hold on to your... Don't leave because there could be a bit more breeze coming our way.
Don't tear up your tickets, folks, as they say. Next round we've got 6. Our series sponsor around the blue, along with Rag and Famish and Smeg.
Oh, the Royal Oak on bad tack, capsize.
In the drink, yeah.
And a bit of confusion on Vycobi. They were going upwind and then turned and went to another mark. So
No, what happened with them, Pat, was Balmain was below them. They couldn't get
They couldn't
Vycobi
get
couldn't
away.
get
They
away,
were
and
locked
Balmain
out.
had to. Yeah,
Got
they
it.
were calling them up. So
Right, there we go. Well, that's good.
So we've got on the Smeg, we've got Ash Rooklyn making a comeback to the 18-footers. Great to see Ash back in the 18-footer fleet. He came and had a bit of a sail with us on the VX1s at the end of last summer, and he realised how much he was missing his sailing, and here he is back on the 18s, which is just fantastic. And also for the first time in a long time on the Smeg, we've got Ricky Bridge back today, so great to see Ricky back at the 18-footers as well, and on the Smeg, which he spent so much time on board.
Just behind us, Dolly Yandu's rounded the top mark closely, and then Balmain has rounded the middle mark. So the
They've gone from first to about 10th.
Balmain actually put it in. They put the bow in. They're just trying to get themselves under control, actually, just on screen at the moment. So
There they are.
they are having a few issues there on the Balmain after breaking their mast last weekend. Anyway, back on the fleet, heading downwind.
As you can see, 3 strings. They're getting along pretty well here, so we've got enough breeze. They're just looking for those veins of pressure. You don't want to do too many jibes either, but you don't want to sail out of the pressure either. And it looks to me like Fisher Paykel, there they are. They've just sailed out of the pressure.
Yeah.
6 are going to get inside them. They're going to jibe. See if they can jibe onto some pressure. Fisher Paykel's picked it up again, but I suspect that might have just given away their advantage that they had just then. But they're up and running again. Brett will be looking for a jibe angle into this gate. There they go now. That's also a very big mainsail, isn't it, Pat?
Sure is, yeah. That's very big. These
Need to get those battens popped.
There
There
they
they go.
It looks like Smeg is going to cross, or definitely Smeg's going to probably jibe in front.
Yeah.
But I don't think these guys, well, unless the pressure increases, they may not get down to the mark. So they may need to jibe
There's
again.
another couple of jibes in that yet. But what they have done is they jibe to stay in the pressure, which Fisher Paykel just went a little bit too far. I think they were hoping they might be able to stay in it and go one jibe and in, but ended up being quite costly because they sailed out of the pressure. Well judged by the boys on 6 though.
Yeah, coming in nicely here, starboard jibe advantage as well. So I think they'll be our leader.
Yeah, no, they managed to pick that breeze and stay on it well.
Well, as Rob Brown used to say, Dole, don't go where the breeze ain't.
Yeah, that's always good advice.
Just up to weather of 6. The rag has come in really nicely, going to the southern mark. The mark on the left, if you're looking upwind. Oh, Fisher and
Fisher
Paykel.
Paykel are in trouble.
They're going to save it.
I think they probably.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, they will.
okay. Right.
So six managed to just take the left-hand turn before Joel Beechel in the Rag and Famish, but the difference was the Rag and Famish had a very clean rounding, whereas
Lockie Pryor's still in there.
trying to get that spinnaker away. Is Lockie on the chute or in the bow?
That's Rasmus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. So here we go. We've got the Vicovey just rounding the southern
fourth.
mark as well. In
Give him
fourth
fourth
place.
there, Pat?
Yeah, we'll take fourth and going in the right direction. Well, I believe the right direction, but let's see.
Fisher Paykel with a lot of spinnaker hanging out the side of the boat.
They've had a disappointing run.
It's not going well for them thus far. Well, they've just managed to get it in over the side before it actually caught the water. There they are on screen now, but that's going to take a bit of tidying up. Might be a knot in the halyard as well.
Just coming through here is Yandu, who obviously went up to the furthest top mark. They're just knocking the spinnaker off now. Louis Breaks sucking the spinnaker in with Ballard Properties, Sotheby's Ballard Properties and Lazarus rounding as well. Tidy drop on the Yandu.
Yeah, pretty handy two guys to have in the front of your boat. That's for sure.
Balmain just rounding now as well. So behind them is Gotcha for Life, and further up the track is Killer Coffee Company and the Royal Oak still coming downwind as well. So what do you think, Dolly? We've got sort of an average around about sort of 5 to 6 knots, but puffs sort of in the sort of about 10.
Looking upwind now, it's actually looking quite promising now. We're solid 3 strings and starting to play the main. We might be getting up towards maybe 8, 9, 10 knots now, which is really promising. So you can see the boats, they're just starting to plane upwind now. So that's got to be about 10 knots, 3 on wire.
So, James, before the start, you were confirming it was a 2-lapper.
3-lapper.
3-lapper. So
Yeah.
we're going to go 3 times. Well, that's good because we've got the breeze to do 3 laps now. So here we go, Dolly. We've got the next top mark roundings.
Yeah, so this time to the limit mark, we've got Yandu, Shaw and Partners and Lazarus. Then on the middle mark, Balmain, Smeg, Vicovey, Sixth and the Rag, and the rest will be going around the short mark. So once again, those boats that are going to the red market makes it a little bit more difficult for them, and I think we'll see a change up in the rankings once we get around the top mark again this time. So.
Well, Dolly, Six did pretty well out of the right. He didn't go. I'm glad he didn't listen to my advice because he went right and he made a nice gain. So crossed ahead of the Rag and Famish. And now heading to the left-hand side here where there is always consistent breeze out of this left side of the top.
Main ragging there on screen.
Yeah, I think I said 6 are going to the middle mark, didn't I? So we'll see how that works out. They're not going to the limit, but I think they're middle mark.
Six.
The one thing I did note when we were coming up, particularly behind Club Marine, maybe Emma, if she looks back with Speezy, just maybe a little bit more bang on. I think maybe the only thing they may need to look at there.
Yep.
There's Smeg on screen.
But yeah, Club Marine back behind us, they're well inside out on their mainsail now. They are a light crew.
But 6, yes, I can confirm 6 is going to the middle mark. So
yeah.
They're looking pretty nice here at the moment.
But yeah, they're well powered up. You can see them there on screen. They've got the leech of that main opened up, and they are easing sheet.
I'm looking at the pressure here, the breeze. Gus, we're probably seeing a little bit more in the 12 knot, 12 to 14 knot sort of puffs here now.
In those gusts, yeah. If I open the window, Pat, geez, feel that, mate.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
this could make it interesting.
And I'm seeing some 12-footers start to do their typical hobby horse. So
doing some leaping.
We've got some good breeze, but look at this. The Vycobi guys picked a ripper shift from the right, the Vycobi.
Shh, shh. Don't mention the V word.
We won't mention it. So hang on, where are we going this time? Hang on, let me look this up. Same again, they're going the white as well.
Yeah, middle.
And Rag and Famish is also going to...
I think
the white.
The white.
Yeah, so all these boats who are currently in the front group are going to the middle mark.
Yeah, and on cue we just had a header on Vycobi, so...
yeah, but they're well into the mix. I thought they might have stayed on starboard there and just made 6 go behind them, but no, I probably would have held that starboard tack for a little bit longer, fellas, but there we go. They're going across while they've got some pressure.
Staying with the fleet.
Yeah, never leave your wingman. I always tell my athletes, but I would have made them go behind and then tack probably. Rag and Famish electing to stay on starboard tack, and to me they're sailing towards a little bit more pressure. So Joel, for a young guy, he's got a very wise head.
Yes.
They'll be looking at that breeze.
He's just tacked there now on that left-hander. Fortunately, just waiting for that breeze line to come in. It's just going to fill in on him now. Very puffy conditions at the moment. Just struggling to get back up to full speed there.
Yeah, they just got a little bit of, when they've tacked there, they've run a little bit of a header. I thought they might lift there, but as it turns out, they're actually down. Well, they're down gauge now on Vycobi and 6, and probably Smeg. Smeg looking down pressure though at the moment. There's the Kitchen Maker and Balmain, along with Yandu down there. So
Just go ahead, just let him come to us, Jimmy.
coming to this limit mark again is going to make things difficult for them. But whereas these other 4 boats should stay together going around the mid mark, and they'll also gain another probably 200 metre advantage. So there's 6. They're leading these top 4 boats into the middle mark, and from where we are now, we're not looking down the ley line, but it looks like they're going to get there pretty comfortably.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from here, isn't it?
Yeah, if Smeg can lay this mark, they will make a little bit of a gain here. But actually now it looks like they're bow down a bit, and I doubt Smeg will get to the mark, and I doubt even 6 will. But Vycobi could be a shot at making it, Pat.
Let's see, I think...
And they'll be holding the starboard advantage as well. Looks like they're up pressure now. Up height.
Yeah, 6 just rounding now. Rounding, they made it nicely. So they're our race leader, and they'll be followed by Vycobi. And I think Smeg did a really bad tack there. So, but yeah, Vycobi second, hot on the heels of 6th. Just going for the hoist now. Dan Barnett on the bow. Just sheeting it on. And they're off. Behind them, we've just got Smeg just about to round in 3rd place. Ash Rooklyn. Going for the hoist now. Ricky Bridge on board today. All his experience will be helping for sure.
No doubt, especially with Ash, you know, only coming back after a bit of an extended break. Great to have a reliable couple of guys with you, that's for sure.
And Rag and Famish, Joel Beechel on board helming today, just rounding in 5th place.
There's Smeg. They just had something funky going on there, and they jibed onto port. Maybe a bit of an issue with their kite, I think, and they had to jibe out. But Now they've found themselves on port without their battens popped. Still, that's not fast, fellas. Need to get that mainsail popped.
Sailing through the fleet. I just noticed Club Marine, who rounded the blue shorter mark. So they actually now find themselves in fifth place, rather. 1, 2.
Yeah, nice little gain there for Emma, courtesy of the rounding marks.
2 grains.
But it's a great shot there of the rag. Young Joel, I should add, so one of Australia's very talented young sailors that's come through a pathway of classes.
Good thing for you, Dole, you'll always be young Joel.
I'll always be old.
Joel will always be young Joel
Yes.
to you.
Yeah, he will, that's for sure.
Good
But,
battle up here at the front with Vicovie and Six, both on port jibe heading towards Shark Island.
Yeah, 6 with Jacob Marks. You know, Jacob's, I think he's just turned 18 years old. Is that right, Jimmy? You know,
Something like that, yeah.
only recently turned 18, and I've had my eye on him for a while too. So, wow, he's really making a mark in sailing, and he's sailing the 49er as well as the 18-footer. Which, you know, the more you sail and the more different boats you sail, the better you get. And we're really seeing Jacob looking pretty sharp today.
Nice job by the Vicovie guys, coming back out.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to get under the ferry there, Pat.
Yeah,
The
smart move.
spectator ferry. Don't want to get in the lull.
There is just behind them, Dolly, a really nice line of pressure coming down, so they're connecting to that one.
So that's the 2 lead boats you're looking at now, and as always, our camera always makes the distance look a little bit further than it is. But there's probably about 50 metres between the 2 lead boats, 6 and Vicovie. There's the shot. Now, as I say, that looks a little bit further than it is. A lot's going to come down to how the crews handle themselves in this setup into the gate, and then getting that spinnaker put away tidily and getting on their way back upwind for the last time.
And which gate you choose as well. Last time, Six made a pretty nice gain by taking the
Left turn, I think,
left hand.
did they? Yeah.
Well, they took a left turn, correct. It went back up the right hand side of the course, but they're doing a jibe drop here. It looked like they're going to take a right turn, but lots on here for.
Yeah.
That's square.
That's square. They've done well. And reminder, you can hit the marks. These marks that we've got here, so
Just can't drag them with you.
just can't drag them with you. But pretty nice job there.
By Rasmus.
Rasmus, they put him under pressure. He's done a nice job.
What do you know about Rasmus, Jimmy? He's out here from overseas, or?
I believe that is the case, but
Yeah.
I think he came down and said, I'm keen to have a go, and
Well, I think I saw a message. I think he might be a 49er guy from Germany or somewhere. And
He's
Here for the
a
summer?
Nacra sailor from Sweden.
Nacra.
And he's got to get back because he's got to get to St. Bart's for the big Kata Cup coming up in November.
Right.
Yeah, so he's
So we're going to lose him.
yeah, but I think he'll come back.
Why
And-
wouldn't you come back to sail 18-footers on Sydney Harbour?
And Smeg just rounding there in 3rd place on screen.
bit of a tidy
very-
rounding, but
very
got out of
tight.
it pretty well
Oh.
on Club Marine.
We've got
Club Marine's got some on here.
jousting
Fisher
sticks.
Oh no!
We've got jousting sticks.
Oh no! It's not a good moment there for both Fisher and Paykel and Club Marine. Club Marine now has got their bow on the wrong side of the mark as well.
Yeah, they've got a man overboard.
Someone's climbing
trying to climb
in.
back in.
It's Emma. There you go.
All right, so the skipper's
The
back on
captain
board.
of the ship.
Oh, we've got some more action just to the right of that. The Sotheby's Ballard property just saving it there.
Oh, yeah. Beck Hancock. Nice work, Beck, to save that one because they were in a lot of bother there. Spinnaker's still at the top of the mast.
She'll do well there.
Work to do still. That Spinnaker's not coming down.
No.
Balmain on screen. They're going to take the left-hand turn behind Club Marine. Okay, so there's Balmain taking the left-hand turn, and then the next in will be Lazarus. Looks like they're going to take the right-hand turn and get inside of the recovering from capsizing Fisher Paykel.
And then there's the Yandu chasing in hard and fast. It's
with a very tidy drop, I might add too. That's about as good as it gets. The bottom marks, you know, obviously the breeze increases and everyone's time and distance is just a little bit out, causing a few little issues.
Always better to go a little bit early than late. Gotcha for life. Are they our last boat down, or I think we've got a couple still?
You've got Killer Coffee Dole just off Clark
That's
Island.
right. They had a swim.
And you've got the Royal Oak Double Bay almost up to the top mark for the second time.
They're a long way behind, aren't they?
I think they had 2 swims.
Yeah, must have. That's them on screen now, so they might even get lapped if they don't get a bit of a hurry on.
Yeah, they're short, very short courses. But this breeze is hanging in here, Dolly.
It's lovely, and we're going to get enough breeze to get us back to the bottom in good shape. We've got a good battle going on between Rag and Famish, Smeg and Vycobi right now, and closer to Bradley's Head is 6. So I think 6th will probably still lead. At the moment, they're very down on up pressure, but bow down on height. So I think they'll be tacking pretty shortly to take advantage of that header, which will turn into a lift on starboard tack. I'm a little bit surprised they're continuing. They've been heading pretty hard there for quite a while. But you do get a bit of a turn in the breeze where the breeze compresses onto Bradley's Head and you get the right-hand lift, and they've tacked now and they should be getting onto that right-hand lift now. And yes, I'm pretty sure they will still have a reasonably comfortable lead, but Vycobi coming in hot, pressure on, up pressure, but 6 cross them comfortably on starboard tack.
It's worth mentioning all the leading boats here, they're all going to the white mark, so the mid mark. So there we go, the mark's just coming on right now. So Yandu going to the distance mark, Lazarus also going to the red distant mark. The middle mark, the white one, we've got Balmain, Smeg, Vycobi, 6, Rag and Famish. And also Club Marine have to go to the middle one this time, along with Kitchen Maker, Royal Oak and Fisher and Paykel. So
the boats that are in contention right now are all going to that middle mark, so no one can gain an advantage, and it doesn't look like anyone who's in this close to this lead group will go round the short mark and pick up an advantage where they can become contenders. So we're in for a good race between this top 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah, we've got a boat race, and so 6 is pushed out into the middle of the harbour and further back onto the right of the shore. Vycobi's just tacked right on the shore of Bradley's Head, hoping to get a right-hand shift.
There is a nice gust coming towards them, but they're just going to miss the edge of it. But they'll pick up the back end of it. But bow down. I was expecting them to lift out of there, but they're bow down. They're pointing almost at the stern of 6, which isn't where you want to be. They'll be hoping to pick up a little bit of right-hand pressure, but looking to the right of them, the boat that's a lap down, the Royal Oak, they aren't getting a lot of lifting pressure where they are, and that's the breeze that's going to be coming down to these top boats.
Yeah.
What 6 needs? 6 needs a nice port hand lift to come back.
And a clean tack.
Yeah, and they've just gone bow up, so they probably should have tacked earlier while they were heading to take advantage of the port lift.
I think they've just heard you. They're flopping onto attack now.
Yeah, a bit late for my money though, Pat. And as for your boys, I think they're now going bow up as well. So both those boats should have tacked while they were heading so that they could get the advantage of the port lift, but now they're committed out to this sort of middle of the harbour.
The Rag and Famish seen what was going on and they've jumped over early.
Yeah. But as you were saying before, Pat, you know, the key is don't leave your opposition. That's what they would have been doing, staying with their main rival.
Because now you've got a situation here where Vykobi's leeward boat. I still think that Six is looking pretty comfortable. He's got a fair bit of gauge off Vykobi there, so...
And pressure coming to them as well. So pressure coming to Six, which will take a little bit longer to get to Vykobi. Vykobi there on screen. Still looking comfortable as Six. So Six have just gone down pressure a little bit, but it looks like they're going to be coming into a bit more. Just starting to pick it up there now.
Shout out to Jenny Bavano, principal of Six. She'd be loving this right now. She'll definitely be watching. I'm not sure if she's on the ferry today, but she's loving seeing the development of this crew, who are our current race leaders. Just a little bit out of pressure at this moment, though, on the Sixth.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, you know, Jacob's a real talent to watch, and across a number of classes, I think he's going to really establish himself as one of the next generation of great Australian high performance sailors. He's certainly showing us how it's done today.
We had a Simo tack there, both boats tacking on a starboard at the same time. Both on the lay, comfortably on the lay too, I might add. So just viewing now the top mark. Sixth, about to round and bear away for the finish.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot riding on the spinnaker work in the next 4 minutes or so. Here we go, Six around in first place. Up goes the big orange kite. And so far things are looking pretty good, and yes, that's a nice set.
Just a bit light here though, I might add, Dolly.
Yeah, and what can happen, Pat, is the boats behind can bear away on a puff and get depth and gauge on you to leeward.
Yeah, Vykobi's powered up through here. If they can get a good spinnaker set here and stay in the pressure,
they're going to jibe set, mate. They're going to throw it at them.
Put it all on black.
Oh, it's a good tactic. Good tactic. They're in a pretty comfortable second here, so might as well throw it at them. And it looks to me like Six are down pressure and jibed.
Vykobi stayed pressured up the whole way through there. They were quite lifted, but sailing in pressure.
Yeah. Now they've got to look for one to get back across on. Or now they're up, down pressure and bow up.
Yeah, ouch.
So it was worth a gamble. If they'd picked up a bit of pressure there, it was well worth the gamble.
And Smeg just on screen, rounding in third place. In a pretty nice puff too.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Great footage by DC, our drone cameraman.
Bow was almost having a little bit of a sniff there, but Bridgie took one step back and that bow's quickly popped back out.
You're very unkind, Dolly.
Oh, no, I was picking my words wisely. Kindly. Love you, Bridgie.
Got the spinnaker set, and just behind them we've got the Rag and Famish rounding in fourth place, followed by Club Marine in fifth place, and Lazarus will be in sixth place. So we're just making our way down so we don't miss the leaders finishing. There's Rag and Famish jibing on the starboard. Sorry, coming out of the
they've
hoist.
just got that hoist done. But it looks like Six got onto a nice little line of pressure. Vykobi are in it now as well, but there's not a lot of this race left, and it looks to me like Six, if they can just link a couple of jibes together well, they should. There they are now. Here they go for that jibe that I just mentioned. and it's not the best jibe I've seen. So, but they've managed to pull it off now.
Vykovi's coming along with plenty of pressure, but I think 6 are now back up to full speed.
Yeah, unfortunately for your boys, I think we're going to run out of racetrack. It's never over until it's over.
I'm not saying a word.
No. Actually, take your mic off and go down the back of the boat, Pat.
I'm going to hang out with Dylan.
But both these guys have sailed very good races on a bit of a tricky day. So, and you'd take a second over what we've seen the last couple of weeks any day.
Great to have some racing.
Fantastic.
Well.
And I think the whole fleet has managed to get around thus far.
Just off screen, the Royal Oak of the Roundup capsized
And
on their bottom mark.
Yeah, gone in the
Seen
drink.
2 crew just fall straight off the side of the boat.
Right. So really, it's now just about your timing for the finish here. Timing for your jibe to
Yeah,
get
just
to
picking
finish.
that angle. And they're both probably waiting for the other one to go. So here they go. Vykovi has jibed. 6 will be next. They were just waiting for Vykovi to jibe. Once again, Vykovi with the better jibe, but they're both almost a bit underdone on that pit end, aren't they, Pat?
They're looking pretty tight, actually. In fact, if I was Vykovi, I'd be gaining a bit more height here to see what happens.
While you can, bank it while you can.
They're very tight on that lay. That breeze is just
It'll
picked
get
up.
a bit softer and they will go bow up. There will be a matter of seconds in this, whichever way it goes. We've got the Royal Oak in the tide, almost in their way here.
Yeah, what's going on here? They're going to leeward of them. Vykovi's going to weather of them, but I think that was the right call.
Yeah, 6 are going to take this ever so narrowly.
Cool. Well done to 6.
So
Jacob.
Jacob Marks, great job from him and Alex Marinelli and Rasmus Rosengren. And then the team on Vykovi, Kirk Mitchell, Andrew Stevenson and Dan Barnett. Both those boats sailed an exceptional race on a tricky day. Next in, we've got Ash Rooklin on the Smeg. Gee, nice pressure now.
Great
Just for
pressure
that
now.
last little bit.
The Rag and Famish here, coming in hot.
Coming in hot, all right. Yep, in 4th place. So good result for Joel Beashall.
Yeah, and once again, ever gaining experience on the skiff.
Joel Beashall along with Ryan Ewings and Max Nern, and 5th place at the moment. Looking up the course, looks to be Club Marine with Emma Rankin, Brandon and Jed Cruikshank on the bow. So nice race from them. That would be 2 5th for them this week, this season.
Not bad. So I'll be doing well in the point score.
They will be.
Yep.
So great work by Emma Rankin.
One of only, how many finished last week, Pat? Was it 5 boats?
5 boats.
Yeah. So it's a lot of boats to be carrying some decent points.
It's worth noting that when the old Finport returns, Emma gets that boat. They'll get the white hull.
True. Yeah,
So-
it's still on its way back from Europe.
Yep.
So she'll also get an upgrade.
She'll
Which
get
is,
an upgrade.
Yeah.
Upgrade package.
So that Club Marine is currently the old Shore and Partners hull, I think, is it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which looks like an old Tech 2 hull with the paint.
Yes, I think
paintwork
it is.
inside it.
Jack McCartney's old boat. Yeah.
And great finish there by Ballard Property, Sotheby's there, followed
Beck
by
Hancock.
really nice result by Beck,
Yep.
with Balmain following them.
Yeah, Henry got a little bit lost part-way through that race, but as I say, for me, they're one of the boats to watch this summer. I've got to say, for my first day back, I've been pretty impressed. You know, the top boats were sailing pretty well, considering it's early in the season.
and Lazarus Capital Partners, one of the scratch boats. So they've done very well today to sail through the fleet and go to all the distance marks.
The limit mark, yeah, a number of times. But yeah, we were talking about them before the, while we were waiting around earlier. We're expecting good things from the Lazarus. They've been moving forward in the last 12 months. They're through now.
And Fisher and Pike just driving after having a swim at the bottom mark. They've recovered pretty nicely.
Just heard from Captain Cub, Phil Barnett.
Yep.
Said, may have figured out how we have broken the sponsors commentators curse. So you just go and throw boots at them, Pat, and walk away, and happy days, mate.
Clearly, that's the new. Thanks, Cub. Yeah, I think that might be the new strategy. So, I think Shippers is back next week, so the boys are safe.
We'll just get you down here for a cameo, mate. You can hang out the back with the help with the autographs for Dylan.
Yeah.
But great to see the guys get a good result today. That's really cool. Really cool.
Or on the iPad, with the questions from the punters coming in from the punters, mate. You did a great job of that.
No, well, it's the questions that come through that are the key. So here we got Yandu just crossing, moving down to the finish line now with Tash Bryant on the helm.
Yep, just after the kitchen maker.
Yep.
And that's a great result considering they went to the furthest mark every single time.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
And look, when they were lined up with the rest of the fleet, they were pretty quick, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
High and quick. So,
Yep.
it was the handicap that beat them.
Yep.
Next in will be the Gotcha for Life, which isn't bad, actually. They got themselves into a bit of trouble today, and they're actually not too far behind.
Cade Morgan, Graham Fairburn and Isaac Marnie. So great job there. They're just going to pop that main baton and they're off.
It can be really tricky to get those, especially the gaff battens in the head of those big square top mains. When there isn't a lot of breeze, it can be quite difficult to get them to pop sometimes. Big crank on the Cunningham Eye, the downhaul, usually helps.
And here we are, Killer Coffee Company. Still got last year's sponsor on the spinnaker.
Yeah,
But
Marine Outlet on the main. That's a bit of a win-win for the Van Munsters.
Look, it's pretty cool that I know the three buoy concept sometimes gets a bad rap by some, but like the proof is in the pudding today. We had some really close racing. The fleet all finished very close together. At this time of year, got some really good boat-on-boat racing, and yeah, I think today it was really good fun.
Yeah, and look, it's good to give everyone a crack too. Everyone across the fleet a chance at getting a win. So it does work. That's for sure. And they're going to have to. What are they going to do? They're just going to drop the kite on the.
Yeah,
I'm hoping they know that's
the finish mark and not the one that they sailed past a minute ago, Jimmy. The
yes,
gate mark.
exactly.
I was thinking the same thing, but I think they can see it there.
Yeah.
Well, that really only leaves the Royal Oak Double Bay, which I cannot locate at this present time. So,
yeah, they might have even taken the turn to the. I can't see them either. They must be up there somewhere. But yeah, look, we know that they're going to finish up there, so we'll probably wind up the coverage, will we, Jimmy?
yeah, I think we can probably easily wind up the coverage. So, well, I guess Dole, great to have you back, and I'll see you again next week. Pat, thanks so much for helping out for the past 3 weeks now, so definitely burning up our favours with you early in the year, but always a pleasure to have you on board.
Certainly is.
Thanks to the awesome team on here, did a great job trying to keep it entertaining in the beginning when we had no breeze, and solid job. So this has been a Sail Media production for the Australian 18 Footer Club.
Good afternoon.